You may award the try.
Try given. Try given. It's wonderful. O'Driscoll lifts it. Ireland, the Triple Crown champions for 2006. Ireland's Day. On this St. Patrick's weekend, they've wrapped up a Triple Crown for 2006. France may well be the champions, but Ireland have something to savour and celebrate. And the smiles on the captain's face says it all. Look how much it means to those players. Every one of them played their part.
Well, what a fantastic performance by Ireland. And, you know, 3 minutes ago it looked like it was all gone. And Ireland, having played probably better in today's game than many of the other matches this season, got a lot of things right today, but it's fairy tale stuff. It's been a great Patrick's weekend. It's been a great week for the Irish. This has been just dream stuff.
The autumn was difficult for a number of reasons. One is we had a difficult schedule. We had New Zealand, Australia, Romania in that order, and we were about transitioning the team, trying to bring some younger players through, and transitioning our game as well, changing how we played the game.
Ireland 7, New Zealand 45.
We were looking forward to getting back into the Irish setup, and it hadn't gone as well as we had hoped in the autumn international. So a lot of guys were keen just to get back playing.
And a final scoreline of Ireland 14, Australia 30. You can't argue with that.
I think it was always going to be difficult. I think we didn't have a good autumn. Certainly from our own standards, we let ourselves down. I think coming into the Six Nations was a bit of a step up, and I think there was a bit of anxiousness there in the squad. I think not having played together for a couple of months.
We're coming off a testing time, so that was going to make us a little bit nervous going into the Six Nations.
Ireland led by captain Brian O'Driscoll after so long in the international injury wilderness.
I was just looking forward to getting back and putting a green jersey on. I kind of grew up an awful lot in the time that I had off, and I guess I realised I wasn't going to be able to take anything for granted, particularly test matches. They don't come along that often. And so when the time came for the Italian game, I was just raring to go and really looking forward to being back involved in an Irish setup.
President here on the first weekend of the Six Nations. Big day for that man, Jerry Flannery, winning his second cap, his first Six Nations start.
I'd never played against an Italian side before, so I just talked to the lads and they just said that they were going to be a real physical pack.
I knew it was going to be tough because looking at their team, they had a few good additions into their squad.
We targeted our 3 home games as games we could win. I'd like to think you can get Scotland and Italy and Wales into Lands on Road, you can beat them if you play well enough on the day. But Italy are always a tricky one. We've played them first up a few times now, and they always divvy up on the first day of the championship, and they've won 2 games in the first day of the championship in previous years, so they're tricky customers, and they'd come to Dublin, throw the kitchen sink at us.
Referee Dave Pearson of England.
We know it was going to be very tough up front. They have a very good pack, very well drilled, well organised pack with some excellent players in there, and excellent scrum, good line out, good back row players, and sometimes their backs let them down, but they are a top pack. Their pack can match anyone in the world, and we knew it was going to be a very tough game.
And we're underway at Lansdowne Road. Italy start us off, and Ireland receive.
Hands off! Stay!
There for Stringer and O'Gara under immediate pressure from Josh Soule, the blindside flanker from Italy. It's Fabio Ongaro with the throw. Bontalami and Delapie are the targets, and it's Delapie who takes it, and Italy have, and Griffin, the scrum half, immediately tries to get that Italian ball working. This is going to be the order of the day for the Italians. They're going to try and keep it tight and wear down Ireland before they go wide. You would have thought Pez straight through the centre goes Canale. there for Griffin. That's the Irish 22 taken on by Perguini. Griffin sees it once more. Good opening from the Italians. Fez along the line to Stoica. Outside him is the captain Bontalami, and possibly an opportunity for Litoglia. Ireland's defence being tested. Griffin to Romero Pez. Again, the out half goes on the loop. It's good handling from the Italians, and it's taken by Santiago Delapi. Griffin has options left and right. Ireland put a hand across, the referee says.
I think there was, a few nerves at the start of the game. I think it took us a while to get settled into it. I think a lot of expectation coming into a new Six Nations campaign, and much improved Italian side made it very difficult for us.
And Gatto with the throw for Italy. It's been all the Italians in the opening 3 minutes. It's back on the Irish side, and away comes O'Connell. O'Gara, and this is O'Driscoll. The kick, and Litoglia slips. Maybe an opportunity for Ireland. Darcy and Wallace the first to arrive. Good play from the open side. Ireland, a first venture inside the Italian half. Darcy says Marcus Horan loves to get involved in the open play. There's an advantage being played to Ireland.
We were pretty confident, I think, that we could have the upper hand of them, but we knew from the physicality that they brought to the game right from the opening minute that we were going to be in for a tough encounter.
Again, Bortolami is the target, and again, Ongaro.
The nature of the weather allowed them to get up in our faces, and quite a blitz defence, so it didn't give us a whole lot of time on the ball.
Litoglia is the man who hits him first, and the penalty is to Italy. Referee saying that Ireland not releasing.
Berbisier's influence really obvious. Italy changing the point of attack.
He's got that. The flags go up, and the considerable Italian support in Lansdowne Road are absolutely thrilled, and why wouldn't they be? Flannery, O'Kelly, Stringer, straight to the back line. O'Gara, Bow across from his wing. Again, it's Canale that makes the tackle, and that was a loose pass which Jerry Flannery did well to come on to. Wallace back inside. Good pass from the hooker. Stringer. Shane Horgan is going to have to use his strength. Can he get the pass away? Referee says foot in touch.
I mean, Flannery sometimes like an extra back row forward. They're finding Wallace on the inside. Horgan just failing to get it inside to Leamy. Ireland again coming close.
Again, defensive work in the line out, but this time Ireland claim through Paul O'Connell. Terrific work from the Munster man. And now the pack arrive. Heave, say the crowd. They have the numbers there. Stringer, as always, directs the traffic. Flannery has it at the back, and an opportunity for Ireland. Closer they go. Can they ground it? Referee has a look. Yes.
Well, I saw Paul intercept their line out, and I kind of sniffed a bit of glory, so I just weaseled into the back of the maul, and I was just lucky enough that I got it. But it was Paul and John Hayes who did all the work, I just got the dot down. It was a good feeling, but at the time the game was kind of being slow for us, so it was just more important to get the score rather than, I wasn't really thinking of myself. I was just thinking of get the score and get on with the game,
Good kick. Terrific kick from Ronan O'Gara.
I kind of thought we were playing quite well. We were building phases, but the Italians were really putting it up to us.
Ongaro goes towards the back of Parise. It bounces down for Griffin. This is Pez. Movement in the Italian centres. It's the out half who dummies once, dummies twice, and goes straight through. He needs support, and he's got it. It's Bergamasco. Melko Bergamasco. Is he going to get to the line? The referee says yes. Momentum got him there.
But that's much too easy between O'Gara and Darcy. He does really well, Pez. Finds Bergamasco. Ooh.
Pez with the chance of adding the extra points, which he does. And all of a sudden, Italy are back in front. Lots of movement. Easterby comes into middle, and it's down for Stringer O'Gara, and now Darcy. Shane Horgan over from his wing. Referee screams advantage. And then another shrill blast of the whistle.
Captain, I warned you about the late hit. That's the third late hit.
Third late hit, says the referee, and the Italian out half, Ramiro Pez, is going to spend 10 minutes in the sin bin. It's on its way. O'Gara turns away. The flags go up, and we're all square at Lansdowne Road. It really hasn't gone according to the script from an Irish perspective. A try apiece, a penalty apiece. It's Ireland 10, It's Italy 10.
Half time the scores are level, but I felt we were in control of the game. We just needed to be a bit more accurate.
Sure, we would have liked to have been ahead, but I think we always knew we had the quality in the team to pull away.
We were relatively confident at half time that if we continued playing the way we did and just give ourselves a little bit more time on the ball, that we could eventually grind them down.
Ready to go, and off we do in the second half, and it's 10 points apiece and all to play for at Lansdowne Road.
I think we all knew if we could stick to our game plan and keep doing the things we were doing right, and we'd come out with a victory in the end.
We all hope that the Italian pack continue on. Advantage being played, Italy come pouring across this side. Ireland penalised for pulling down the maul, and Italy get on with it quickly, and maybe an opportunity. Canavosio just a couple of metres short. Bergamasco. Tackle is made by Bow. Griffin screams at the pack. They'll take it on from here. Hayes makes the first up tackle for Ireland. Bartolami can see it. Ireland desperate defence once more. Josh Soul, the blindside flanker, standing off. Advantage being played to Italy now. An infringement on the floor from Ireland. Italy again go close. Continuous pressure. Ireland penalised from coming in at the side, and the penalty is the Italians. As Griffin lines up this attempt, and he's brought that one in beautifully. Terrific kick from Paul Griffin. Advantage being played to Ireland. O'Connell's appeals agreed with by the referee. O'Gara, another crossfield kick. We've seen it a couple of times before. Tommy Bow this time collects. Can he get there all on his own? Looks like he can. Yes, he can. They've threatened it. Now they've executed it. And the referee in no doubt that that's a try for Ireland.
O'Gara reads this so well. And that is a perfect kick to Bow. After this, it's all about whether he goes inside or out. Inside the right option. The referee's on the spot. Ooh, did he get it down?
Will this angle tell us? Bergamasco is the one making the tackle, and again,
I'm not sure he did. I think his arm might just have been underneath.
The more you look at it, the less like a try it looks.
I think it's one that should be looked at by the IRB. You know, it's strange that if the player grounds the ball, but his arm is under the football, I think it should be a try anyway. And that's what happened. Tommy grounded the ball, and his arm was under it. The referee awarded it, and he stopped. Now, had the referee not awarded, he would have rolled on and placed it anyway. So I don't think it was ever not going to be a try. But Tommy looked at the ref as he hit the ground. The referee put up his hand and he stopped, and then the Italian player got under him subsequently. So that created all the hullabaloo. But I think in the first place anyway, if you ground a rugby ball with your arm under it, your arm is part of the ball. It's part of the ball if it touches the touchline. So it should apply in the in-goal area as well. It was a try. Everyone thought it was a try. It was, it deserved a try. So it would have been pretty harsh not to award that one. And that did have an impact on the game. But, that's the way the dice rolls for you.
O'Gara's conversion attempt is good.
We didn't play particularly well, but we took our opportunities when they arose, and we were clinical from that regard. So I think you have to take a fair bit of satisfaction out of games when you're not playing your best, but you manage to grind out a result.
Tommy Bow comes over to hug this near touchline. O'Gara, Darcy gets through the tackle. Darcy needs support. Italians swarm around him in defence, but the ball is presented for Stringer, and Malcolm O'Kelly goes on a charge. Again, Stringer screaming at the referee that the Italians have slowed the ball down, and if he's seen it, he surely has to go for a yellow card again. Darcy's run was very strong indeed. Despite the attentions of 2 or 3 Italian defenders, he managed to find some form of room to get Ireland on the front foot. And the result of all that pressure is a penalty for Ronan O'Gara. O'Gara's kick needs to come back, and it will with the aid of the post, yes.
It was a very tough game, and one where we didn't perform very well at all, but I think as the tournament went on, it proved that they were kind of a better side than people made them out to be.
Yes, indeed. And Italy are still holding on, and they're still in this game.
At the time, I gave a lot of credit to the Italians, and I think the rest of the competition showed that how much they'd improved.
And here a real chance for Ireland now.
O'Connell claims. O'Callaghan into help. Horan and Flannery there as well. The Munster men try and organise their respected and often brilliant maul, but on this occasion it doesn't work, and Stringer goes to Tommy Bowe. O'Connell again, some amount of work he's got through, particularly in this second half. Italy think they have a chance. Stringer has to go in and do some foraging, and the Italians in from the side, so it'll be a penalty to Ireland. And again, O'Gara should be pointing at the post and make it a little bit more comfortable. He's done so, no doubt about it, straight through, and Ireland move out to 23. Griffin for Pez. The Italians still have Parise is skipped, and this is Canale. Canavosio. Canale again. Little kick ahead. The Italian centre. Bowe had to watch it all the way. It's still not danger over yet for Ireland, but it is now.
Accidental offside.
Accidental offside.
Kick from that man into that man. It's a scrum.
Scrum for Ireland, but just for a moment there was a collective holding of breath around Lansdowne Road. O'Gara. Darcy runs into Mirko Bergamasco. O'Callaghan, Leamy. Always seems to be strong at the end of a game, Leamy, whether it's for Munster or for Ireland. Incredibly fit and always full of running. And that's a penalty for Ireland. You would think that this will seal it. Crowd will tell you, flags go up. Ireland look secure.
You know, we got the win. That was the most important thing, and I think, you know, there were always areas that we were going to improve on. You know, we hadn't really, I suppose, as a 15, hadn't really played together. You know, a lot of the guys, big names like Brian O'Driscoll and Paul O'Connell were missing from the autumn, and I certainly wasn't involved in the autumn as well. So I mean, there's a few others coming in. So it just took time, I suppose, to get things gelled.
Ireland 26, Italy 16.
I was happy to get the far side of it. I'd like to have been more comfortable at the end on the scoreboard, but we weren't accurate enough in our executions to make that happen. And I give Italy credit for playing a really good game and taking the game to us as we expected it would.
On reflection, our performance was probably was pretty good. We dealt with them pretty professionally and put them away. And you know, with the France game on the horizon, it was a lot easier going in with one win under the belt than that.
Brian O'Driscoll looks out from the tunnel as Fabien Pelouse leads France towards the pitch as well. A wonderful, wonderful stadium here. 80,000 capacity. The noise is absolutely blaring around.
I think our performances in Paris have been, steadily getting better every time we go there. I think we were looking forward to the challenge. We felt that France were probably a little bit rattled from the game in Scotland.
The thing about Scotland beating France was there was always going to be a backlash from France. You know, a side who were always favourites for the championship. It was obvious to me in the Scotland-France match after 20 minutes, France really weren't focused on what they were doing. They had lots of opportunities and squandered them. And I was going, this is not good for us, because we're going to go to Paris in a week's time and France are going to come out and go ballistic, because they're going to be under pressure from their own home crowd.
You know, when France play in Paris, it's certainly a different proposition than when they go away. I think all French teams have a tendency to really turn on the flair in their home country. We knew we were going to be in for a big game, but we thought we did a lot of work that week on the video analysis, and we had thought that we had a system in place to break them down.
We prepared really, really well for it. So going there, we were looking forward to it.
You line up for the anthem, I think, there, and you hear the French anthem, and you're nearly you're buzzing to the sound of that and the atmosphere. And I think you're not human unless if you're not moved by that, there's something wrong.
There is a look at the Irish side.
I was mad to play against the French. I was real keen to play against them, because they're one of the best sides in world rugby. So if you want to see how good you are, you kind of try and pit yourself against the best out there. So I was up for the game.
The referee this afternoon is Mr. Paul Honest of New Zealand. He's aided and abetted on the touchlines by Chris White.
Yeah, we were feeling confident going into it. Training had gone well during the week. felt as though they're always going to be a tough proposition in France. They always have been. History speaks for itself, but we felt going over there we had as good an opportunity to beat them as we had in many a year, and so we had nothing to lose.
Ronan O'Gara gets Ireland underway at the Stade de France. The opening.
We expected France to play well. What we didn't expect is us to play so poorly.
The French crowd are getting behind their team, and France put it through the hands. This is Dominici. Rougerie. Great run from Rougerie. He's going to go all the way. Oh, what a start from France.
Poorly is probably harsh, but it wasn't we played badly in the first half. We just made 4 or 5 cardinal schoolboy errors that you wouldn't expect to make on a training ground.
Need to get this back. It's back on the Irish side. Stringer. Malcolm O'Kelly takes it on. Support arrives through Flannery, but it's not controlled. Stringer still has O'Gara. Little show and go. O'Gara almost there himself. Ronan O'Gara held up a couple of metres short. Stringer once more. Ireland through Jordan Murphy back inside. David Wallace holds firm does the French defence, but still Ireland goes. Stringer tries to find his way through. O'Driscoll now. Ireland searching one way then the other. They need to control. They don't need to panic. They're on the front foot and the opportunity is still there. Ball presented again. O'Gara. Shane Horgan. Space was too tight, but the penalty comes. France offside.
And a good response by Ireland. Here we go again.
Taken quickly. Can't take your eyes off it. Stringer. O'Gara. They need to get out of his way. The pass is to no one. And maybe an opportunity for the French through Rougerie to counter-attack. O'Gara makes the tackle, but it's there for France, and they'll clear their lines through the boot of Dominici.
We come out, and I thought we played quite well. We'd taken them on up front, and we tried to spread it wide a bit as well, and we played quite well. Their defence was very good. It was very aggressive, and we made an awful lot of mistakes. Obviously, I mean, we've been through it a load of times. We made an awful lot of mistakes, and every mistake we seem to make, they capitalised on it and scored.
And as Brian O'Driscoll receives attention, the French get on with it. Michalak. Back went Easterby, but Michalak has got it. Freddie Michalak, Magnier in support. France are going to get it again. Olivier Magnier. Oh, that's cruel. That is cruel.
I mean, within 30 seconds of Ireland being up the other end of the field on the opposition line, and suddenly we have this Michalak putting Magnier under the post for a 7-pointer. That's a killer.
An absolute killer. And they're on their feet around the Stade de France as Elisal slots the easiest of conversions.
As you know, with France, they punish you cruelly on every mistake. And every mistake we made, they cashed in.
Darcy, Stringer, but it's all very much on the back foot and all panicky, and the kick is blocked down, and France are going to get in for a third try. Oh, would you believe it? It's all going against Ireland.
In the end, O'Gara is forced to seek the touchline, and he's under pressure from David Marty, and in he goes for the try. They don't deserve that, Ireland. At least they're trying to play the ball through the hands, but they're still not imposing themselves up front.
Under pressure all the time as Elisal kicks the conversion, and the scoreboard looks very, very ominous indeed.
As a team, we just had a few, lapses of concentration, and that led France into the game. It really led them, and I think they exploited our mistakes better than any other team in the Six Nations Championship.
They're doing to Ireland what was done to them in Edinburgh last week, and in addition to that, they have far more in terms of playing ability than the Scots had to really reap. Darcy, he's going to get in. Well, referees looking at each other.
This is a big
touch judge, and they're going to have a word, and that came from nothing.
Against Green. Knock on. Thank you.
Referee's decision is that there was a knock on.
At the time, my gut was that we had actually played pretty well, but had made these silly errors. But I was saying to myself, God, we couldn't have played that well. When I looked at the video after, we had played very well. Probably forced the pass a bit too much against a very aggressive French defence, but it was the right way to attack France. The spaces were nearly there, and you always have to work hard early in a game to sort out the opposition. They can't defend like that for 80 minutes.
Darcy leaves it for Stringer. O'Gara, Ireland again have plenty of players. It's Shane Horgan tries to straighten the line. O'Gara comes around in the loop. It's Jordan Murphy, but the pass again is not a good one, but Ireland have the advantage for France offside in the midfield. Penalty Ireland, and surely And finally, after 27 minutes, we're going to get some points on the board. As Ronan O'Gara, through a cacophony of boos, looks to register Ireland's first points. Yes, indeed, the flags go up and Ireland are on the board. Michalak with the restart. Leamy, 3 Irish players came to claim that and no one did. And again, what should have been a straightforward position for the Irish has turned against them, and it's going to be a penalty to France. And Leamy came looking for that. There were 2 Irish players in front of him. They both thought they'd called it, and the mix-up means another opportunity for France. Touch judges had a look at each other, but the flags went up. 22 points to 3. Half an hour gone.
We were putting some good phases together, but just at the last minute we were kind of doing things, and they were scoring, and they were capitalising on any little mistake or any little error we made. But I think we all felt that we were still playing well for the majority of the first half. But you know, the scoreline certainly wasn't going our way.
Is that the Irish attackers are now looking for those French tackles and that French defence, because they have been swarming all over Ireland, and it looked like Wallace had one eye to see where the tackle was going to come from on that occasion. Jordan Murphy, oh no, we could see that one coming from the stands, and France have another try, and this is going to be a long afternoon in Paris. And Elissal's makes it 2 points worse. The referee has seen enough. That's the end of the first half. It's been all France, and you wonder, can Ireland even put a respectable ability on the score at full time? There's another 40 minutes ahead.
When we came in at half time, you know, I suppose people would have thought there would have been shouting and, you know, people screaming, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. It was very calm, very collected, and we knew that rather than France creating anything, we'd kind of gifted them stuff. Bar the first try, I think everything else was nearly down to our mistakes, and you know, you might get the bounce of the ball once in a game. They seem to get it like 3 or 4 times. So we're just very unlucky, and I think, you know, the big thing that was coming out from, you know, from our key decision makers and leaders was just keep doing what we're doing.
We didn't want to change anything, and contrary to popular belief that game plans were changed and everything was switched around at half-time, that wasn't the case at all. We said that we just need to keep plugging away at what we're doing, and things will come right for us. You can't have that much misfortune and bad luck, and things have to come full, you know, at least half circle, and your luck has to change somewhat.
Half time in the French game was a real turning point in our season. I think, you know, coming out in the second half, I think Eddie said to us at half time that, you know, you can go either way here now, you know, collapse and have a disastrous day, or else, you know, come back and show some spirit.
Rougerie comes in from his wing and barrels his way through, and France are into the Irish 22 again. There's Bonner. Elisal, they've got options wide. If the pass goes to hand, it must be, it's going to be, and it is! Another try for France. And the second half starting as the first half did, with France getting an early try. Elisal, it's simple. It's so simple when it's going your way.
I was beginning to wonder, was it a nightmare we were in? You know, I was going to wake up in my hotel room that morning and realise, geez, this is only a nightmare I had, but it wasn't. It really was happening in front of us, you know, mistake after mistake, and 7 points after 7 points. And suddenly you're wondering, like, you know, we're punch drunk.
Stringer for O'Gara. Oh, it's kicked straight into a French hand, and it's another try. And things, when they're not with you, like that happen. And there are few words left to describe the afternoon that Ireland are having in Paris.
The game was beginning to open up in the second half, but again we shot ourselves in both feet. At the start of the second half, we coughed up 2 tries. I know that one of them was a good try, they ran a good play, got over the gain line, and we missed a couple of tackles. And you know, France will do that to you, but then there was an interception again, or a block down, come interception. And I looked at the clock, and we were 10 minutes into the second half, 40 points behind in Paris, and the weather was good, so it was going to be, I thought, a very, very difficult day for us. But the lads didn't panic, which was great. I think that was actually something that stood to us later in the tournament.
O'Driscoll under pressure again. Ireland had the numbers out wide, but the 2 French defenders got up quickly. In fact, too quickly, says the referee. They were offside, and Ireland had the penalty. and maybe this time. But no, the French get there. Stringer, O'Gara, Ronan O'Gara. Ireland eventually crossed for a try after all that pressure. Some reward.
Eddie just said to just keep playing the way we were, you know, just tighten up all the little mistakes, our base is good, and keep playing, and the scores will come. And Paul and Rog re-emphasised the point, like, we just stuck to our guns, and eventually it came through. A lot of people said that, you know, that we started throwing the ball around, but we were doing no different than we were in the first half. We just cut out our mistakes and tried to keep it a little bit tighter.
Kick down the throat of Tommy Bowe.
The game just seemed to open up. I think France had put such an effort into trying to defend us in the first half that they just seemed to tire, and then we just started getting breaks.
Stringer looking for the penalty, which he gets and takes quickly. Leamy, support from Jordan Murphy, almost got away. Stringer, Darcy, Gordon Darcy, straight through. Much better from Ireland.
My try was just a culmination of, you know, building phases from our own 22. You know, as a back, you always look for mismatches, and I had a mismatch against a forward, and you know, that's supposed to be bread and butter stuff for us.
Ireland, Darcy makes the break and gets the try, and Ireland have a second one.
We got our act together in terms of holding on to the ball, and you know, I think we must have tired them out or something, but you know, we ran some great tries in the second half.
Ready to go was Andrew Trimble, Ulsterman for Ulsterman. Bowe again not having one of the more memorable days for an Irish winger.
I came on and I was just running around like a headless chicken because I was so keen to get on and to do as much as I can in such a small space of time. But at the same time, it was a nice time to come on when everything's moving forward, and you know, we'd sort of clicked into gear just 5 or 10 minutes before I came on, and it's a nice time to get on the field and sort of, you know, play a bit of rugby.
O'Driscoll in, they'll try and maul it over. Brian O'Driscoll again. Ireland just held up short, and the penalty comes. France not getting away and also offside. Stringer back inside. O'Callaghan, Donegal O'Callaghan, surely yes. It's another try.
Well, they certainly can't be faulted for trying, that's for sure.
As O'Gara lands the conversion, and Ireland have 3 tries in the Stade de France.
It was very frustrating, but we kept playing the way we had tried to play, and eventually we broke them down. Now, if we hadn't made the mistakes, it could have been a different story, but I suppose we always say that you can't keep saying that forever about, say, for 1 or 2 mistakes we could have won.
Stringer, they can spin it wide now. O'Driscoll, straight through. Brian O'Driscoll puts the foot on the gas. He has Horgan, he has support. It must be. It is. It's Trimble.
Whenever Draco gets the ball in a bit of space, you know, he's always going to do a bit of damage. So I sort of anticipated and then took a lot of glory from a lot of his hard work, I think. But you know, just trailed his inside, and you know, it's an easy line to pick up, what I thought, and then he had the opportunity to celebrate a try at Stade de France in front of 80,000 people, so it was great.
And O'Gara adds a conversion, which puts him as Ireland's top point scorer of all time, and Brian O'Driscoll worrying.
Things started to open up for us, and we got on a roll, and suddenly we were back in the game. We'd scored pretty much 4 tries on the bounce, and they were reeling, and I think we had them by the scruff of the neck at that stage. We really had a chance to win the game. It would have been the mother and father of all comebacks, but again, I suppose when we got that close to them, we got panicky and forced the game a bit too much.
Doesn't go to hand, but somehow Leamy goes away. Not the intended receiver. Ireland 5 metres short of the French line. Stringer, O'Gara, all sorts of movement. O'Gara's going to try and go on his own, held up short.
Come off. I think everyone felt, you know, that they would love to have played for another half an hour. You know, maybe things could have gone differently, or even maybe 10 or 15 minutes, because I think we really held them on the rails, and you know, it was just disappointing. I suppose we ran out of time to an extent.
But it didn't happen that way. Ireland got themselves back into the game. France and their supporters are not at all happy with what they saw in the final 30 minutes.
We lost, and we let ourselves down in the first half, and you know, we managed to get back a few points back on the board in the second half, but we were still, you know, we conceded too many points, and fair enough. We got back into the game. We played a bit of rugby at the second half, but it wasn't acceptable.
Credit to Ireland. They threw the kitchen sink at France when all looked lost. They didn't allow the heads to go down too far, and they dragged themselves, kicking and screaming, back into the game.
Sometimes international rugby is about making less mistakes than your opponent, and I think we made some serious errors in that first half, in the first 10 minutes of the second half, and it cost us the game.
We still believe that we could have beaten them, only for 4 catastrophic errors.
Speaking to their management after, they were very relieved that the final whistle went, and felt that had it gone on another 5 or 10 minutes, they could have been in real trouble.
We were very positive after that French game, even though we'd put in quite a dismal first half. I think it was the second half was as good a rugby as we've played in a number of years as a squad and as a team. We showed the willingness to have a go from anywhere on the field, which we had to, if we wanted to have a go at winning the game. But from that point of view, I think we came out of the game with some positives to take it into the next match.
All kind of blindsided with the announcement of Mike retiring or resigning. My gut reaction was, this is not good, because suddenly the Welsh players had something to prove.
Yeah, I mean that was, I suppose, distracting us a little bit, but we just had to be focused and I suppose go into the game just thinking that Wales are going to come out, I suppose, more united because of all the stick they were getting in the press, and we had to be ready for that backlash.
We're not getting any breaks here, we get Italy up first, who are firing all cylinders, we get France on the rebound from losing in Edinburgh, and now we get Wales with a new coach who want to prove something, so there's no easy day out here.
There was all the stuff in the papers and the media about, with the Welsh coach and problems in their camp and everything come up to the game, but we tried to put that aside and just concentrate because, they were the Grand Slam champions.
The Welsh are very unpredictable. I think, we came up against a very good side over there last year. This year we wanted to, put one over on them, put in a good performance, considering, the Italian and the French game, probably didn't go as well as we wanted, and we really wanted to put in a very good performance in front of our home supporters.
They were coming into the game with a lot of baggage, and they lost a couple of key players.
Sure, they were a little ravaged by injury, but you get seasons like that, and I think when you look back last year, we had some difficulties with injuries in key positions as the Six Nations went on. You have to deal with it as part and parcel of international rugby.
Eddie had talked about this game being a key game because it's third game in the championship. Regardless of what happens in France, this was going to be the key game for us. So it was always going to be a lot of pressure on us to get the win, but then there was a lot of pressure on Wales as well.
And we are off and running at Lansdowne Road. It's a pivotal game. It's a game that requires a performance. It's a game that requires control. Stephen Jones, Matthew Watkins, he's looking to try and find a gap. Half through, offloads, and Wales looking very, very comfortable with the ball in hand as they have for the last 18 months or so, and they're up to the Irish 22. Dwayne Peel wants it quickly, slowed down slightly by Ireland. Malcolm O'Kelly comes across, little kick ahead from Watkins. What can Trimble do in defence? It's a difficult one to handle. Are Wales in? They might be. The referee is going to go upstairs.
And Watkins at that stage, that's a try.
That's a try.
Game started pretty much, they played well for about 10 minutes. I thought they had a lot of ball, they came at us, and sometimes games start like that, and you can set out your stall either with the ball or without the ball. And I thought we defended pretty well, but we got caught with an unlucky bounce and Wales scored. And I said to myself, no, this is really going to test us. They've got off the start they wanted. They've come to Dublin, they've a point to prove, and they're where they want to be. After 10 minutes, they've a score on the board. But I think, again, we kept our composure, maybe, coming off the previous week, knowing if you give up a score, it's not the end of the world.
Advantage being played to Ireland, Wales offside. Ronan O'Gara, Brian O'Driscoll, first time he's seen the ball in open play, and we'll come back, no advantage to Ireland. Peter Stringer has the ball, penalty Ireland midfield. First opportunity of the day, needs it to settle the nerves. Flags go up, something for the crowd to cheer. Ireland are on the scoreboard. It's Ireland 3, Wales 5. Matthew Watkins changes the direction, dangerous pass with Marcus Horan lurking. Stephen Jones got his hands on the ball though, and we're going to come back for that advantage. Dwayne Peel has the ball in his hands.
I think it was a big issue when Stephen Jones went off. It'd be silly not to say so. Stephen Jones is their general. Basically, everything goes through him. He controls the game for them. He's been there for years, and he knows what way the Welsh team plays well, and so he guides them.
Obviously, Stephen Jones is their playmaker, and when he did go off, for them, they lost a bit of structure. But I think when you can bring on a guy of Henson's quality and calibre and experience, it doesn't weaken your size that greatly.
Not sure if it's a dead leg or something more serious.
I was happy to see Henson coming on. I thought I wanted to play against him. And he's got a big reputation.
Back into the game for the first time in a long time.
I think if Stephen Jones had stayed on, I think the way we were defending in that game in particular, it was kind of almost irrelevant who was playing a 10 there. I think we really were on the money that day.
Ireland robbed this one. Malcolm O'Kelly, Stringer eventually gets a good option. Trimble had to readjust, but Stringer had no option other than to do it. Trimble is through. Great strength from the Ulsterman. He needs support. Wallace doing everything to get through the traffic to try and get to him. Now Stringer has O'Gara, better from Ireland, option to kick over the top for O'Driscoll to chase. David James is going back. Shane Horgan's coming for Ireland as well. David James watched it all the way, but at last Ireland out of the traps. Shane Horgan thought about taking it quickly. Line out taken by Leamy. It's going to them all. Ireland advantage for attacking the line out jumper while he was still in mid-air. Still Ireland have still its advantage. 5 metres away from the Welsh line. Stringer has a little look, calls John Hayes and Marcus Horan in. Horan has good work, pumps the feet. Penalty Ireland. Referee not happy. Now penalty taken quickly. Leamy, is he going to get there on his own? Dennis Leamy. Ball pops up. Referee is going to go to the television match official. Scrum. Irish ball. Leamy not grounding, but Ireland still in a very good position.
Well, you have to say a fair call there. It wasn't clear cut from the angle, either angle that the TMO was looking at, but still a good attacking position for Ireland.
This one should be straight off the training ground.
Right there.
Wallace plays 8. David Wallace runs into Colin Jarvis. The pack arrive to help. Wallace is carried over. Can he ground it? Referee again can't see.
Dennis had a go for the line just before, and we got a scrum. He got over, but he was held up, so we got the scrum. And I don't know, I suppose I just asked him, would I have a go at 8, because he was a bit beaten up after that rampage. But I just broke right, and the guys broke from the scrum straight away and were on me straight away, which is brilliant.
I think we'll try, you may would.
Try given. David Wallace does it for Ireland.
I suppose as Ginger McLaughlin said, he carried the rest of the team over, but I suppose I can't really admit to that. But no, they were brilliant. They were straight on me, and it was easy to get the ball down then and over the line.
Well, they've got their try, and more importantly, back in the match big time. There's a bit of a spark about the play now in the last 5 minutes.
Here's Shane Horgan. Now he's got O'Driscoll outside him, but no one else. O'Driscoll comes back inside. Here's O'Gara. Flannery for the corner. Can he do it? Has he got the pace? Jerry Flannery just short. Ireland still have the opportunity. Ball slow in coming back. Stringer's trying to dig it out. He can almost do it himself. Wales desperate not to give away a try. Maybe a penalty will do. Still there for Ireland. Referee continues to let it go. Now he pulls it up and gives a penalty for holding on. And Ireland, Leamy thinking about the quick one. Taken to John Hayes. No one quite expecting that. Thought we were going for a touch, but it might just work out for Ireland. Marcus Horan has a little look up. Ireland close again. Scrum Ireland.
Moving forward.
They lead for Stringer. O'Gara. Shane Horgan across from his wing, trying to use his strength. Luscombe marshals him away, and Wales get the kick away, but it's blocked down by Ireland. Henson under all sorts of pressure, and again we're going to come back. There was a penalty. Irish penalty. He's got it. O'Gara, normal service resumed. And the referee has said he's seen enough.
We still had a second half to play, and I suppose you never rest on your laurels at half time. You just focus on the next 40 minutes. But yeah, no, it was. I suppose it felt like it was going to be a good day, all right.
Ireland only content with the scrum. Good attacking position though.
Needs to be a steady scrum. O'Gara. Darcy is skipped. Here's Brian O'Driscoll, who skips out to Shane Horgan. Horgan, oh yes! He just saw the gap open up in front of him, straight through. Terrific finish.
Brian threw out a great pass. We actually had a move call that was that there was a hit up in the centre, but I had a shout at Brian. I thought they also were playing a blitz defence, and they came up and in is the terminology. And Brian caught me out of the corner of his eyes and threw a pass straight out to me, and which was really good vision by him, and he allowed me to get in behind the defence to a degree. And then Wales were playing a drift defence as a second layer, and they sort of went on our wraparound, and I slid underneath them and got in under the sticks, which was my first try in a while, so it was quite nice.
Exactly the start Ireland would have wanted to this second half. O'Gara's kick is a good one. Up go the flags, and Ireland have 7 points in the opening moments of the second half.
Run away, 7!
Ball should be there. It is. Ireland continue into the Welsh 22. Here's Darcy. Kick over the top. Oh, he was surely taken out. The referee was watching to see where the ball landed rather than at the attack, but he's been given the nod by his touch judge on the far side, and it will be a penalty to Ireland. Gordon Darcy absolutely taken out after he delivered a lovely kick for himself to chase. O'Gara, simple, straightforward, 3 points, and Ireland are firmly in control. Easterby at the front, and he was taken out, and that's what the penalty is for. Comes down from a height, and is he okay? Seems to be. There he is. Missed a couple of sitters. That looks better. Flags go up. And Stringer takes it quickly. They'll want to finish with a flourish, Ireland. Here's Mick O'Driscoll. 6 or 7 metres short. Stringer's pass just not handled by Johnny O'Connor, who had to go back but still got some momentum going forward. It's there for Ireland once more. Stringer digs it out. Darcy, can he get there? Gordon Darcy, just short, I think. Ball squeezed back. Martin Williams in to try and disrupt, but surely from the side. Referee is telling the Welsh to get their hands off it. The next break in play will probably be the end of the match. A last opportunity for Ireland to put another try on the board. Again, just held up short. Donncha O'Callaghan. Will he take it on himself? So many players tied in for Ireland. They're going to have to do it. O'Callaghan tries to do it on his own. Again, just a couple of inches short, and he's on his back as well. Peter Stringer, time for a cool head. What's the option for Ireland? Stringer screamed at to use it. He tries to go himself. Has he got it down? Yes, he has.
Didn't have much to do, to be honest. I think the forwards had a few goals at it, and it opened up nicely. I think went in under Henson, and just a couple of inches to go. So it was nice, certainly for me personally. To get over the try line for Ireland, it's always a great occasion, a great feeling, and no better place than Lansdowne Road.
His 6th international try. O'Gara adds the extra points, and Ireland have won in Lansdowne Road.
Gradually as the game went on, we just pulled away from Wales and ground them down and just played the better rugby and won the game. And I think, not that they gave up, but they just couldn't live with us as we kept control of the football.
It was our first full game performance, where we performed. But I'd still say, there was a lot of things we didn't do the best of our ability in that game. But I think we showed what we're capable of, and we showed glimpses of what we can produce, and you know, for 80 minutes really.
I don't think we'd even thought about Triple Crowns. You don't, knowing that you've 2 more wins to claim the trophy. You're just thinking about the next game and the next win, and eventually, I guess, when it comes to the final game, you might start thinking about it. But we were thinking about just trying to better ourselves and better our performances.
The Scottish were on a bit of a high. They'd come off of great results. They were back where they wanted to be. They were still probably the underdogs on Lansdowne Road. But I felt we'd actually probably our best settled side of the year. We had everybody back with a few games under our belt. I was really looking forward to the game.
Welcome to the visitors.
They're very physical up front, and I think what they brought to their side this year is quite an expansive game, and their backs and their ability to move the ball wide and score tries. And I think they're a threat out wide as well, 1 to 15, rather than just up front that they probably would have been over the years. So I think we had to take that into consideration, and knowing that they'd beaten England and France certainly made us be on our guard a bit more.
Well, here they come, here Ireland coming onto the pitch.
Scotland had beaten France and England at Murrayfield, and I think maybe it's fair to say that Scotland weren't the same side away from home. And you know, as we saw at the Millennium Stadium when Wales beat them, and you know, we just had to be confident in ourselves. We had to be completely assured that we were a better side, and you know, and just get that into your heads, because I think it makes you play better.
We were kind of aware after watching them beat France and beat England that you know they could turn us over easily if we weren't on our game.
We were looking for a good 80-minute performance, and I think, you know, looking back on the matches before, that we'd maybe slipped up in the first 20 minutes and we'd had a slow start. But I think going into the Scottish game, we really felt we wanted to set our stall out early on. You know, but maybe, you know, the ruthlessness for an 80-minute performance is what we've been looking for in the whole Six Nations campaign. And I think as it went on, I think it improved from game to game.
It was probably our best selection in terms of getting everybody on the pitch and everybody on the same page. You know, it was the 4th game of the championship, and we did a full side out. So it was, from that perspective, that's why I was expecting so much out of the Scottish game, and I was disappointed that it didn't go that way because of the weather conditions.
Scotland the underdogs, but with 2 big results behind them. Wins at Murrayfield against France and against England, and straight into the Irish 22.
I thought that with a dry ball we could actually play a great game of rugby and keep the ball in hand and go at them, but unfortunately the weather took over the day and we got, you know, wind and driving rain.
Stringer waits to pick it out, and he's done so. And the break is on, and it was Flannery, and here's Hogan. What a tackle by Lamont. Flannery's there too. Back come the Scottish pack to try and assist, but Ireland still going. That Scottish line just there. Springer, who made the initial break. It's now Gordon Murphy. Ireland stretching the Scots right from the start. Stringer. Now it's O'Driscoll. Oh, the eye taken off the ball by Gordon Darcy. He's lost it, but Scotland had gone offside, and here's surely 3 points for Ireland.
It was a horrible day. We didn't get to play the brands that we wanted to, and you get days like that. I guess you could compare it in a way to the Italian match, that things didn't go the way we wanted them to, but we kept plugging away, and we played a brand of rugby that was suitable to the conditions.
Kelly, good clean catch, good swift delivery from Stringer. O'Driscoll, Darcy on the scissors, but resolute midfield defence by the Scots holds him up. O'Connell, Stringer again, Murphy, Stringer. No chance here. Wallace, O'Driscoll. For Stringer again. Darcy, Jordan Murphy, Leamy. Stopped in midfield by Scott Murray. He's there for Stringer again. O'Gara. A kick for the corner. Southwell gathers and clears.
There was no question we were the better team in the day, but it was going to be trench warfare, which probably suited Scotland more than us. We had one chance of a good try, went to begging. We probably forced the game at times into the wind and rain in the first half and lost the football, but we kind of had to keep the ball in hand. Kicking it away wasn't a good option in the conditions.
Another sweet one, 6-0.
Indeed, sweetly struck, and it's important he takes every opportunity. Twice into the Scottish 22, twice out of the...
Obstruction. Number 4.
Well, they were trying to protect the catcher, and they've given away 3 points. A try, he converted it, and 2 penalties against Wales, and that's exactly what you'd expect.
We played quite well, I think, in the first half, but you know, we probably tried to play a bit too much football, and you know, I remember we made a good few line breaks again and played quite well, but you know, some errors then snuck into our game again.
Scott Murray is captain, through the hands of Blair, Parks, De Rollo, Southwell in the line. Southwell has support required. Ireland secured it, turned it over, popped up by Flannery. Leamy lost then by John Hayes. And Scotland now in the person of Andy Henderson. And a Scottish penalty.
That's out of here.
Ireland, authors of their own downfall on that occasion. Another one on its way. It's 6 apiece. Playing an Irish advantage. Great hands there from O'Kelly. Now it's Jordan Murphy. Murphy. Support arriving from Marcus Horan.
I think any 2 teams playing on a day like that, it would have been a tough game. It's very hard to kind of stand out, and particularly when, you know, from a back's point of view, you want the dry conditions, you want a dry ball, you want the ability to beat someone one-on-one, and that wasn't the case on that particular Saturday against Scotland. You just had to slug it out and kick your goals as Rog did.
That's better. That's 3 points. That's 9-6. Important. 3 out of 3. It's 9 apiece.
That's a really good kick.
Blair looking for the gap and having to go the long way round for Parks. Parks, a little kick for Lamont to chase. Jordan Murphy goes back. Lamont's in. Is that a try? Referee says no, and away comes Jordan Murphy with the ball.
It was very physical, you know, but we felt that if we could just, you know, keep our patterns going, we could you know, suppose squeeze out the victory.
Put back by the challenge of White. It's back with Stringer again, shoveled up.
Scotland and Italy were probably the 2 toughest defensive teams to break down. They just kept coming and coming and coming, and the players were, you know, they were just always, you know, blue jerseys there in your way. When you thought you'd made a break, there was somebody there to cut you down, and they just kept going for impact tackles and hits and hits, and our game was no different. That was how they played right the way through the tournament.
Yes, 12-9.
Half time.
And that is the last kick of the first half, a half in which it's been penalties all the way. Ireland have missed 1 but converted 4. Scotland 3 out of 3. Half time in the rain at Lansdowne Road.
I thought I was a pretty confident feeling at half time, you know. I felt like we were, you know, we could control the game, and you know, the conditions weren't great, and you know, all during the week there was a lot of talk about how, you know, we hadn't gotten into 5th gear yet with our team, but the conditions, we were playing the conditions, and I thought we were controlling the game well, and I was pleased at half time.
Second half underway, and the breeze behind the Irish. Hines takes. The Irish pack arrive.
Rock! Stay there. You are.
And back it goes to Parks.
White.
And his first kick to touch is straight into the arms of Dennis Leamy. To Jordan Murphy. Leamy again. Chris Patterson who initially put him down. And Stringer with a long pass to Horgan. Horgan a kick for the far touchline. Across goes Southwell, and the ball is in touch.
Our line out functioned really, really well that day. Jerry, Paulie, these boys just, you know, they were just on song, and I think that was probably one of the, you know, the foundations of the win. You know, when you get the basics right, the result usually takes care of itself.
But now they can. O'Gara, and a chance here. Murphy, Trimble, in touch.
The hits they put in, and their defence was just, I mean, it's probably the best defence I've come up against, and you know, it was pretty sore walking off the pitch that day.
Measured at home. 15 points to 9.
That is a very important kick for Ireland.
I think it was a good win. I mean, 15-9, no try scored. I mean, it probably doesn't sound that good, but with the form they brought into the game, and after us, I suppose we played quite well against Wales. Probably disappointing against France, apart from the second half, and disappointing enough against Italy. I think it was a good win for us to get.
It's all over. Ireland have won. The Triple Crown is there to be collected in Twickenham next week.
I was very happy at the end of that game. Now, we had played 4, won 3, lost 1, but the important thing was we won our 3 home matches, and effectively, you know, it was a good job done in the Six Nations.
We'll take a good long look at that, because that's the end of Lansdowne Road as a Six Nations venue as we know it, and it's ended.
The point was made to us that it was coming into like Cup Rugby. You know, we had Wales, which is like our quarter-final, Scotland was the semi-final, Twickenham will be the final then, you know.
There's nothing more exciting than the possibility of going to Twickenham and winning a Triple Crown. You know, it certainly got me going. I was very much looking forward to the game.
The Twickenham game was a game I think that we were exactly where we wanted to be. As I said, we'd set out our stall, we won our 3 home games. We had learned from Paris that, you know, France are a good team, but they're only as good as you let them be. And England are a bit like that. You know, we'd won in Twickenham 2 years earlier, so we had proved to ourselves that Twickenham is a place we could go and do the business.
There they go.
We've won in Twickenham before. We beat England last year, so there was no reason why, again, if we produced a performance on the day, that we couldn't turn them over.
Ireland on their way at Twickenham.
It's always very, very difficult to beat them in Twickenham, and we knew that, but we also recognised the fact that we were capable of beating them, and we had beaten them on the last 2 occasions that we played them.
And this is a team under pressure.
We knew going to Twickenham was it was a game we could win, but like any time you play England or one of the top sides, you've got to do the right thing at the right time and get your best game on the pitch. But we were pretty confident.
I think one of the things that this Irish team is developing and probably getting used to is not being scared of any team. I think what we're kind of doing is the teams that deserve respect, we're giving them the respect they warrant and nothing more, and then we just concentrate on ourselves.
Going there and knowing that England hadn't performed to the best of their ability in the campaign so far really gave us that boost, and didn't want to let this one slip. You know, with the possibility of a championship as well, and there was no better place to do it in Twickenham, you know.
We're realists in the fact that we know that when we play well, we can beat anyone, and that's not being cocky or overly confident. I think that's just the way things are now.
Everyone was fitting well, we set aside. And England were going through a bit of a trauma. They had lost to Scotland as well. They'd lost to France the previous week, and ironically again, you know, they had just gotten badly beaten in Paris, so they were on a rebound coming back to Twickenham. So in some ways, a lot of our games this year, we were playing teams with something to prove, and the English game was no different. We knew it was going to be a humdinger of a game.
Good, ready to go. The wind is strong, it's blowing across the pitch, but more in England's favour than in Ireland's. We're off and running. It's the final match of the 2006 Six Nations. And immediately there's a knock-on from Gordon Darcy in Ireland. No one came to claim that. It was messy, and it's given England an opportunity early. Well, Delalio has done his best to bite his bottom lip this week. With England in such trouble, why, if Delalio is good enough to be on the bench, and with all those changes, is he not good enough? You'd say to lead the team. Ireland penalised in the front row. Curry, the captain, takes it quickly. The tackle comes in from Leamy. Ellis. Good. Here's an opportunity. Maybe for England. They're over. Oh no. That is not part of the script. Jamie Noon and England in the opening minutes.
And Andy Robinson.
The game works in kind of momentum, and we got a bad start to that game, and we basically got penalised at the scrum, and they got a quick tap and we were away, and before we could get our defensive line in place, they scored in the corner. So they got the start they wanted.
Here is Andy Good to try and make it a full 7.
They got an early score and, you know, probably got their confidence up a bit, but we were playing all the rugby in the first half, you know, and there was some, you know, like Paul O'Connell was immense again, you know, on the pack, and you know, he was driving it on, and I felt that if we just kept our work rate up, that, you know, that the score would come.
Ireland still have it, and the referee is going to set the scrum again.
We had done a lot of research on how England play and defend, and we knew where I suppose they were weak, and ultimately that's where we got our try.
Free kick at the scrum goes Ireland's way, and it's Dennis Leamy who takes it, gets through the first one or two English tacklers, goes to ground, and it's there for Peter Stringer. O'Gara, Ireland have the ball with David Wallace, but he's hit hard as he attempts to get across the gain line. Ball still there. O'Gara, O'Driscoll has a little look up, keeps the kick low. Ben Cohen skips by him. Shane Horgan is coming like a train. Horgan, can he control it? Shane Horgan, yes!
It was a great chip through by Brian, and he actually puts a bit of he purposely put a bit of spin on the ball. It's something that he's worked on, and it's a really great skill. I think himself and Ronan are the only ones that really can do it, and that had Ben Cohen in a bit of a quandary, and I managed to nip in behind him. I wasn't expecting him to drop it. I was coming up and slowing a bit for the tackle, and then when I saw one in behind him, sort of attacked the ball, and I thought it was bouncing, but look, I've seen it since on the video, and it's hard to say 100% either way, but it may have just caught the corner of the line, but I wasn't complaining too much.
The touch judge thought about putting the flag up, but he's not going to. It's a try for Ireland. Fantastic.
Well, he didn't just think about putting the flag up. I thought he put it up and took it down very quickly.
My perception of it was that the ball didn't hit the line actually. It bounced over the line and he got his foot to before it hit the line. And they're the breaks again, I mean, we've got the breaks going the other way on occasions and we've had to live with it. So you take them as you get them, and fair play to Shane for following the kick and getting his foot to it at the right time. But that put us back in the game, and that settled us. And again, we felt, look, we can beat these guys, but we've got to stop making mistakes. And it was an interesting game from our perspective. It was a ding-dong affair, and we'd score and they'd score, and we had some great passages to play in the first half. So as the game went on, we grew in confidence, I think.
Leamy goes up and takes. Martin Curry there to watch him, and England get a little bit of a shove on, but O'Connell in to help, and Malcolm O'Kelly adding his considerable weight and experience. Ireland and them all move forward. It's there with Flannery. O'Connell has it now. O'Kelly in to help. This is good work from the Irish pack, really good work. You can see how much room they've made. That's the English 22, and they're determined to continue on. England are at 6s and 7s. Easterby is the one who has for Ireland now. Ireland again look to redirect this maul. O'Connell continues on. Advantage being played to Ireland as England attempt to drag it down. Wonderful stuff from the Irish forwards. They've marched into the English 22 and on they continue. Penalty comes.
Well, super play from Ireland there, and the control and particularly the patience in not releasing the ball, not running off and breaking into the truck and trailer, which so many teams do in Ireland who have built such a good line-out maul over the last couple of years, showing it to good effect there.
594 international points for Ronan O'Gara. Ireland's leading point scorer adds another 3. Ireland hit the front after 13 3/4 minutes. It's Ireland 8, England 5. And here come England again. It's the first time we've seen them on the front foot since those opening 2 minutes, and England have the advantage. Johnny O'Connor, well, it's just going to give a penalty that was already there.
But certainly a bright start from Ireland. And Andy Good, well, a chance to redeem himself.
Dare I say that this is a defining moment in the game for Andy Good. If he snatches at this one again, you'd worry for him and for the English side for the rest of the match. And he has snatched at it again, and it's gone left. And now the inner demons will be talking. O'Driscoll, Stringer, O'Gara, nicely through the hands from Ireland. Flannery injects the straight line, takes in the defenders. Ireland recycle quickly. O'Gara, Darcy just hung on into the English 22. Much better from Ireland. Driscoll saw the gap, pinned the ear back, set it up again. Hayes is there. Referee says it was off the foot, no knock on. Just about for Ireland. O'Gara, Jordan Murphy trying to jink his way round. England make the tackles. Ireland under the post, options left and right. They go right. It's O'Gara. Shane Horgan stands his man up. Support arrives. Leamy again. Easterby there also. O'Gara in to clear out, so Stringer feeds Paul O'Connell. O'Connell almost through. Sheridan made the tackle. Frantic defence from England. Ireland. Oh, they must do. They must do. Pass doesn't go to hand. And now a penalty straight in front of the post. Well, can O'Gara deliver what Ireland deserve from a terrific attack? Yes, he can. Flags go up. Ireland thoroughly deserve those 3.
Well, that's a very good kick from Ronan O'Gara.
Be behind. That's good.
O'Connell comes to claim, and O'Connell takes, but there was an infringement from Simon Easterby taking a player out, and the penalty will be to England, and Andy Goode is going to have an immediate opportunity to reply, and that's just disappointing and a little bit silly, having worked so hard and so wonderfully for those 3 points, to give them away immediately. Snatched at it again, but he got it.
We worked our way into the game and got right up face to face with them, and I think come half time England realised they were in a ball game, and that's exactly what you want away from home against a big team. They're hoping that come half time the game is half over. Well, it was game on at half time, and that was a half time team talk.
We knew the English forwards would come at us, very big set of pack, and I think their backs really kind of started to control the ball as well, and I think at half time we certainly knew that it was still there for us, that we basically had to hold on to possession and play the territory as much as we could, and try and keep the ball away from the English set of forwards.
Yeah, I think when we got to half time, we felt we were doing a lot of good things, and we knew that if we could just keep playing the way we were and putting the pressure on them, and I suppose just getting the good quick ball and getting into our patterns, that we could break them down eventually.
40 minutes away from what would be a wonderful triple crown for Ireland. The championship, you would have to believe at this point, is well out of reach, and it's France's day. O'Gara will surely kick for territory and keep England pinned back inside that 22. The kick from Harry Ellis, Dennis Leamy has called for it, no one able to actually get to it, and the ball has bounced somehow into the arms of Lewis Moody, and it gives England possession early in this second half. Here's Andy Goode off the side of the boot and straight into touch. Was there an Irish hand on it? No. And we're going to come all the way back, and Goode has not looked comfortable. He's played okay in the loose, but that was a poor kick, and as the wind blows, don't underestimate just how hard it is for the hookers as well to find their men. Malcolm O'Kelly is the target, who receives gratefully. This maul is going to try and do what it did in the first half, and Ireland get up ahead of steam. Advantage already being played, and England in trouble again. It's going in at the side of the maul, and advantage being played, and there's the ground already gained by that maul of Ireland's, and they still look for the gaps, and the referee has decided he's not going to let it go on any further. He's going to give a penalty to Ireland.
An achievable chance here for Ronan.
Yes, indeed. Eddie O'Sullivan rubs the hands together. Ireland sneak a little bit further in front. It's 14 points to 8.
Ronan O'Gara seems to be in the groove.
Goode hangs one up, but it's gone a little bit far. Paul O'Connell, it bounced off his shoulder, and he'll be disappointed with that. Again, though, Ireland have infringed at the restart, and it's a penalty to England, and it's infuriating to watch. Flags go up, cheer goes round the stadium. England cancel out Ireland's early penalty in the second half. Goode again, voice, wave after wave of English attack. Brian O'Driscoll has a sniff of it, but voice just holds on. It's Goode again. Moody on his shoulder. Guess who makes the tackle? Paul O'Connell. Goode. They have men. Have they got the space? Cueto up 5 metres short of the Irish line. Ellis. Goode. Worsley has skipped, and they're straight through. It's Steve Borthwick. Twickenham goes crazy, and England kept prodding, kept looking, and eventually they get rewarded.
The Irish defence held solid for so long, but there's only so long you can defend against the size and power of some of these English forwards, and once they kept the continuity going, it was always on the cards, whether it was on the back of a tongue lashing from Andy Robinson or not at half time. England have certainly upped the work rate in the second half and have looked to take Ireland on up front.
Ireland completed the line out, but it's back on the English side. It bounces up into David Wallace's arms. Wallace, great strength. Oh, terrific David Wallace, he's broken through. Wallace.
It's just one of those things where I think it came off the over a line out or something, and I suppose it was just the thing we've been working on in training. It's just keeping the legs alive and keep the legs pumping, and thanks be to God it opened up for me for a little bit, and I got a bit of a breakaway. But yeah, no, I suppose it was a nice thing to remember from the game.
I could see him from whatever 30 yards away, wherever I was. He just seemed to keep going and going. Every time I thought he was hitting the deck and I tried and pick a line off where I thought the ruck would be, he just got up and kept going. He's a powerful fella.
The halfway line. Still Ireland have. O'Gara played for the corners. No better man for the job. But will England try and take it quickly? Looked like he was in field of play when he threw that ball in to me, and the referee seems to be in agreement. They go long and almost watched it. It has been Leamy.
Dennis Leamy's try was a very opportunistic try, but these things happen because of the work you do in the team room, and we knew that if England got a line out in that corner of the pitch, the odds are that if we cut off the ball to the front, they'd throw it over the back, and Dennis read it perfectly and was on it like a flash, and it was a great, fantastic skill to control the football and get it down.
That was excellent. I mean, people talk about whether Ben Cohen, whether that should have been allowed as a quick line out. I mean, you can say that, but they still had to just perform a fairly mundane task of win a line out on their own line and clear their lines, but they didn't do that. Dennis showed some great athleticism to flick the ball back into his own hands and ground it, and it was a really good piece of play, an excellent piece of opportunism, as you say.
Every point counts. Ronan O'Gara, conversion vital. He's got it. You can hear the Irish voices raised.
Going into the last 10 minutes, I really felt we had the game won, in a sense that we were 3 points up. We were absorbing the pressure really well, and they had come at us in the second half, hammer and tongs, and got a very good try and put us on the rack, but we hadn't panicked, we kept our shape. And 10 minutes to go, we were 3 points ahead. Twickenham, I was going to take that any day. And then unfortunately we got a break of bad luck. Simon Easterby got sin-binned. What I thought was a very harsh sin-binning. Now we're level pegging, and we're down to 14 men, and there's less than 10 minutes on the clock, and I said, oh, this is not good, and then they picked up a penalty, and Good knocks it through, so now they take the lead, and we're down to 14 men.
It looks good, the crowd love it, the touch judges do also. Robinson, a huge sigh of relief, and England are in the lead. Easterby back on, Ireland fully restored to 15.
We got Simon back on the pitch with about 2 minutes to go, and this is where I go back to the game in Paris. The game in Paris, we had played our way back into the game, and it was like, we had France for the beating, but we just panicked a little bit a couple of times, and maybe could have got a score and really beaten France, but this time we didn't panic. We knew we were going to get a shot at them, and we did get one shot. It was a last chance saloon thing.
O'Gara, little chip and chase. O'Driscoll is coming. Bounce. It's O'Driscoll's. Brian O'Driscoll. He's got support. Shane Horgan. It's about pace. Can he get there? Shane Horgan. Oh, just held up short.
I knew when Shane got the ball. The line I was looking at in the stand. I knew there was 2 quick players tracking him, and the odds are he wouldn't make it. Now he was smart enough to read that as well, and didn't panic and go for the try straight off, because he probably would have been put into touch. Would have been their line out. Probably game over. He didn't panic, he held on to the football, and we talked about this at times, keeping our composure, key moments, and this is about as key a moment as you're going to get in a game of rugby.
Ireland still have the opportunity. Stringer. O'Driscoll continues. Advantage being played to Ireland. Stringer still has. Ireland still have. Horgan has another opportunity. Is he there? Referee and Eddie O'Sullivan look at each other.
You may award the try.
Try given.
I can award the try.
You may
Try
award
given.
the try.
Ireland lead again.
Ronan, although a number 10, I remember he hit that ruck like a back rower. Could have easily been a turnover ball there and a penalty, and kick the touch and the game is over. But Ronan hit so well, we regained the ball, and again those two guys, it was Ronan who cleared out the ruck and it was Brian who took the next possession up. Strings passed to Brian took it up again, bought us a little bit of time, and then Peter decided to go right again off that following ruck, and a great pass over the top. I think it was superb vision by him to find me out there. I think he missed about 2 or 3 players, and then I was just trying to not to get knocked into touch, and trying to make myself as long as possible.
That was simply stunning.
Strange thing happened then, actually, because he went upstairs. He stopped the clock, the match clock. Now I could see that the match clock was 1 minute 28 seconds left. Now once the try was awarded, he should have said time on again. So I sent a message into Ronan, there's 1 minute 28 seconds left. So take 1 minute over the kick, you're entitled to take 1 minute over the kick. That would have meant when the ball was kicked off again, you know, by the time we run back to halfway, you could be down to 15 seconds left on the clock. So we'd all have to do is win the ball and kick it out and it's game over. But unfortunately, drama of dramas, the referee just forgot to say time on.
Ronan. Oh yes! Yes!
Now Ronan, in fairness to him, it was a fantastic kick from the right touchline on a windy day. He nailed it. That meant they had to score a try now, because had he not nailed that, a drop goal would have done them. So he knew kicking that kick, it was a very important kick. But he thought, going back to halfway, that once we won the restart and kicked it out, it was game over. But I looked at the clock and realised he hadn't restarted it, and we couldn't get the message in. So we won the ball, took it down, Ronan kicked it out, and the ref said line out. I said, oh my God, here we go. And we won that line out against the head.
What a defining moment for Eddie O'Sullivan and for Ireland. A hat-trick of victories over England.
And I remember Ronan kicked in the stand thinking it has to be over, and he took another line out for it. So I went, this couldn't be happening. So they won that line out and they came at us, and you know, if you look at the last few minutes, it was frantic defence as it always is, and eventually we turned the football over, and then Peter tried to kick it a touch and miscued it, and Ronan eventually got it into the stand, and that was it.
It's blocked down, O'Gara! That must be it! That must be it! It is! Ireland's Day! On this St. Patrick's weekend, they've wrapped up a triple crown for 2000.
I think it was the manner in which we won the game rather than the fact that we'd won the triple crown. I think anytime you beat England, there's always delight in it, because you respect them as a team and because you know that you've obviously played well enough to beat them.
Initially, it's just, you know, overwhelming joy. You just, you know, you realise, you know, what you've just done. You've beaten England and Twickenham, and it's, you know, it's going to be one of the greatest achievements in your rugby career. And then the sheer tiredness sets in, because to beat somebody in their home ground, you just have to put, everything has to go right, and everybody has to put 100% on the line.
I think we've come a long way now. I think we've developed and matured a lot, to the extent that we went over there and we gave it everything, but then when we went behind, we had the mental strength and the bit of guile and the bit of skill to get back down there and score the winning try. And just hopefully it's a good sign for us to win those tight games and to come out with the big plays under pressure.
For me, just my first season, just to win a triple crown, you know, I want to do it next year as well. I want to win the World Cup year after that, you know, and you know, I suppose you just gotta keep pushing yourself, and the more you achieve, the more you want to achieve.
There's no better feeling. You know, it's 2 triple crowns we've won. It's something special. You know, we're fully aware that doesn't come around that often. And just remember the final whistle, and everyone just extremely delighted with the way we played and the way the campaign had progressively built up over the matches.
I think, to be fair to the team, we had travelled a fair old road this year, and as I said at the outset, it was about transitioning the team. We had changed our game. The last Six Nations, Ireland were the team that passed the least and kicked the most. And it's just been published the other day that Ireland and this Six Nations were the team that passed the most and kicked the least. So we had transitioned our team, transitioned our game, and won a triple crown. And I think that doesn't happen by accident. It happens for a lot of hard work from the players and the coaching staff. And it was a nice way to finish the Six Nations. Probably more poignant by the fact that it was St. Patrick's weekend. It was a very good race meeting at Cheltenham, and we had come from behind in the last minute to beat England and Twickenham, and they topped it all by getting us a piece of silverware, which never existed before. So pretty good day at the office.